Hello, friends. Welcome back. It's been a few weeks since I last posted a video, and honestly, it was quite nice to take some time off as we approach the end of a year and introduce a new one. There is always so much anxiety for me as a year is closing because there is the pressure to have things figured out or planned out for the new year. You must have a vision and a plan on what you want to do and accomplish. And so I always feel so pressured and anxious towards the end of a year. But this new year, I decided to listen to my intuition and only do and plan as far as I can truly envision and see, and to not overly plan simply because I am trying to keep up with a status quo that simply I just do not relate to. So, the thing I love to do the most when starting a new year is to rearrange and organize my house, and most especially my creative space. As we introduce a new year, I have made it a ritual to shift things around and place things in a different area in my house to change up the energy that surrounds me so I can introduce more fluidity and new energy around me. I usually like to change my furniture around and dust all the nooks and crannies in my home, all the buildup from all the year. I mean, I do clean throughout the year, obviously, but all those little nooks and crannies that sometimes when you're cleaning, you're just like, oh, I'll get to it later. And sometimes you don't. I like to put away and organize areas that are just untidy. Usually, immediately after I do this, I can already feel my spirit start feeling lighter and even more creative. And as someone who thrives off creativity, it is important for me to have that feeling of wanting to be creative. And for me, organizing and cleaning my space usually always does it for me. Truly, our spaces and how well they are kept are a reflection of how we feel internally and even physically, I would say. This organizing shenanigans came right on time as me and my husband are sharing office spaces once again, since my sister and her partner are currently joining us for a few months. So me and my husband are bunking office spaces for a bit, which I sure do love, to be honest. I love having the company since he works from home and I do as well. Sometimes it gets a little lonely in my office when it's just me, and just having someone else who is working and doing their thing is kind of feels less lonely, and it feels like I can focus. You know, when you watch someone and they're just doing their thing and that also influences you to do your thing, well, he has that effect on me. So I love bunking offices with him. And so we're going to be doing that for the next couple of months. And I'm happy about it. You're going to see a lot of designing in this video as I am prepping for my Patreon. I am so excited for how things are going to be looking over on my Patreon for 2023. I have been having this idea in my head that I've been wanting to create, and that is a planner. I have been wanting to create a planner that has all my art and a way for all of us to intentionally plan together so we don't feel the overwhelmingness that comes with simply planning. So I decided that for 2023, I was going to offer exclusive planning sheets that are downloadable for my Patreon community. And I am so excited for this offering. I already posted some stuff on there and I've been receiving a lot of great feedback. A lot of my Patreon community are super excited for these offerings, and so am I. I already have so many things that I'm envisioning in my head, and I just cannot wait to put those out there even more as the year goes by. So yes, a lot of designing in this video. You'll hear me talk more about it a little bit later in the video. But for now, I'll just let you enjoy the video. There's not a lot of talking in this video. That's why I'm doing a voiceover. But nonetheless, I just hope that you enjoy this calm and soothing video. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like, subscribe if you feel called to, comment. I would love to hear from you. Let me know down below how you like to start your New Year's off. And I will talk to you all very soon. Hi friends, it's been a while since I've checked in on this vlog and in general on YouTube. Yeah, I think towards the end of the year of 2022 I was extremely busy, and also I just wanted to just not do anything. So I found it really hard to film, but it is January, what is it, 5th today? January 5th, and I am getting back on my regular routine, or at least it feels. I'm now sharing my office space with my husband because my sister and her partner moved in with us, so we are so happy to have them here. So my husband and I are now sharing offices. So it's gonna be a little hard to film because he does work from home and he takes up a lot of meetings in here. So right now it's his lunch break, so he's over there eating something. Toby's doing a lot of noise. He's in here with me. But yeah, we kind of changed the office around, so if you kind of see things are a little bit different, that's why. But I really like it. I like how everything turned out, and we were able to fit both of our desks in here and our bookshelves. So far, I've only been working on Patreon stuff, so I think I don't know if I filmed, I'm pretty sure I did, for this vlog, but I started working, or I designed my January Patreon mailed rewards as well as my downloadables. I am so excited because I decided to do a Patreon exclusive monthly calendar. I've always wanted to do one to offer on my shop, but because of production and I haven't really been able to find the right production company for this, I just decided to do downloadables available only on my Patreon. So I thought it was really cool. I already posted some stuff on my Patreon and I've received some great feedback from my Patreons. And now I decided to actually create a cover for my monthly calendar because I only did the January monthly calendar, and I also created these little cutouts that you can cut out and create or like put in your planner. So I thought that was really cool. And then I had the great idea to create a little cover for the monthly calendar. That way if folks want to actually make a little book of it, they have the cover for it. So that's what I've been working on. Let me just show you all what I have so far. I think I'm almost done with this. I don't really want to do too much with the cover, but this is what I have so far. I hope you could see that. It's kind of bright on my iPad, but this is what I have. Yeah, I really like how it came out. I think I'm gonna keep the black grayish background. I really like how that looks in contrast with the colors I've chosen. And then the other stuff that I did, as I'm sure you see me create, I think, was this little, ooh, that's really bright. Okay. This little January calendar cover, and I think I'm going to include this like little monthly affirmation thing that I included down here. And then I also also included the moon faces because I love knowing when there's a full moon or a new moon, waning moon, waxing moon personally, so I added that on there. And I also created these little planner cutouts that I'm calling intentional planning, because to me planning can be quite overwhelming and I get very anxious. Toby's bone fell from his little lookout bed with stairs. Toby, he's chewing on his bone, sorry y'all. Anyways, planning can be very overwhelming, so I created these little planning cutouts that I feel are more intentional, or at least I tried, and this is what I usually put in my planners. Anyways, so yeah, I'm adding these as cutouts and downloadables over on my Patreon for my $2 tier, and every month I'm just gonna upload that month's downloadables for planning. I thought that was a cute incentive, and I've always wanted to do that, and I figured why not do it with my Patreon. I'm excited for that. And now I think I'm gonna do more little test prints right now to see how they look like. I'm just a little nervous because I don't think I have the right paper for printing that, but we'll see how it comes out. I also wanted to share the 2 books that I just recently picked up from Barnes & Nobles. They were having, I think it was New Year's Day. I think it was New Year's Day that Barnes & Nobles was having 50% off all hardcovers. So, of course, I had to go. And I picked up 2 books. The first one that I picked up, I hadn't heard of before, but I thought it was very interesting. Y'all already know that I am a fan of anything that is fantasy, and this just sounded really cool. This is called The Daughters of Izdihar. The Daughters of Izdihar by Hadir Elsbai. And let me just read you the synopsis. It's a pretty long one, but I'm just going to keep it short. As a water weaver, Nehal can move and shape any water to her will, but she's limited by her lack of formal education. She desires nothing more than to attend the newly opened Weaving Academy, take complete control of her powers, and pursue a glorious future on the battlefield with the first all-female military regiment. But her family cannot afford to let her go. Crushed under her father's gambling debt, Nehal is forcibly married into a wealthy merchant family. Her new spouse, Nico, is indifferent and distant and in love with another woman, a bookseller named Georgina. Georgina has her own secret. However, she is an earth weaver with dangerously uncontrollable powers. She has no money and no prospects. Her only solace comes from her activities with the Daughters of Izdihar, a radical women's right group at the forefront of a movement with a simple goal: for women to have a say in their own lives. They live very different lives and come from very different means, yet Nehal and Georgina have more in common than they think. But their problems may seem small in the broader context of their world, as tensions are rising with a neighboring nation that desires an end to weaving and weavers. As Nehal and Georgina fight for their rights, the threat of a war looms in the background, and the 2 women find themselves struggling to earn and keep a lasting freedom. And then the next one that I got is called Hester, a novel by Lori Lico Albanese. And I've seen this one around when it first came out. It came out last year, I believe. And I picked it up because it's giving me practical magic lessons by Alice Hoffman type of vibes. And I recently read Magic Lessons and I absolutely loved it. So check this out. Isobel Gamble is a young seamstress carrying generations of secrets when she sets sail from Scotland in the early 1800s with her husband, Edward, an apothecary who has fallen under the spell of opium. He has piled up debts, forcing them to flee Glasgow for a fresh start in the new world. But only days after they've arrived in Salem, Edward abruptly joins a departing ship as a medic, leaving Isobel penniless and alone in a strange country, forced to make her own way by any means possible. When she meets a young Nathaniel Hawthorne, the 2 are instantly drawn to each other. He is a man haunted by his family's role in the Salem witch trials, while she is a skilled needleworker troubled by her own mysterious talents. As weeks pass and Edward's safe return seems unlikely, Nathaniel and Isobel grow dangerously close. Together they are a muse and a dark storyteller, but the enchanter and the enchanted. But which is which? In this sensuous and hypnotizing tale inspired by the iconic heroine of The Scarlet Letter, a young immigrant woman grapples with the legacy of witchcraft and horrors of slavery, and learns that America's ideas of freedom and liberty often fall short of their own promise. Hester is a timeless tale of art, ambition, and desire that explores the roots of female creative power and the men who try to shut it down. So that sounds really cool. I just realized that these are both very women's rights type of books, which I am totally here for it. So that's pretty cool that they kind of just coincided. But yeah, those are the only books that I've recently picked up. I did have a lot of books from 2022 that I couldn't get to, so those are still gonna roll over to my TBR of this year. So yeah, just been keeping it nice and slow as we start the new year. I really don't want to push myself to do so much or to think and overwhelm myself so early on the new year. I am trying to deconstruct that idea of what, you know, staying active in that sense really means to me, or this idea that when the new year starts you have to have it all together and you have to have a plan and a vision for the entire of the year. So I am not trying to do that this year. I'm trying to really listen to my intuition and take it one step at a time and really do things that feel in tune to how I am feeling in that moment. So that is what I'm doing. Let me show you all like this little bed that we got for Dobie. And that is where he keeps dropping his bone from. He's down there picking up his bone, and then he's gonna go up here and chew on it up there, and then he drops it. That is what I have to deal with. Oh. Okay, I guess he's chewing it under there. It's still another rainy day today. We're having like this little rainstorm happening in California, which is very rare, but I am not mad at it. Just a little worried for the floodings that have been happening. But I am currently, me and my family, we're good in the area that we live in. So that's good. But yeah, it's been raining all day. It's gonna rain all week. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to work and I will maybe or maybe not talk to y'all in a little bit. We'll see.